So this is my 2015 KLR 15. I'm sorry, KLR 650, and I bought it used. Had about 2,700 miles on it. The reason I wanted specifically to get this type of bike as well as this bike is because I've always owned road bikes, and I wanted to have the ability to get out of some troubled spots, whether it be traffic or congestion in a city or just out on the road. And I wanted to be able to haul some stuff, and most road bikes aren't very good at that. Specifically this bike I wanted because you can get them very, very inexpensive, and the 2015 upgraded a couple things, being the seat and the suspension, to make it a pretty capable bike. Because of the experience with some of the guys that are here, I chose some upgrades, some of them good, some of them bad, and I'll walk through that. So the first thing that I think made the biggest noticeable difference in the terrain that we're in are improved tires. These are some Continentals, and you can see the tread is way more aggressive than would be on a normal stock tire. As we go around the bike, you'll see the biggest one that's a noticeable difference are these engine crash bars made by SW Motec. They have certainly done their job. I've laid this bike down several times. And no internal damage to the bike. I've been able to pick it up and continue to ride every time. Also, if you look underneath, I got a SW Motec skid plate there, and a lot of the stuff that we were going over was really, really rocky, and there was times when I heard big rocks pounding into the bottom of this thing, and I know that it was just fine. It's really, really good construction, easy attachment points. As we move our way up, if you come onto this side, you'll see there's a SW Motec handguard. But if you'll notice, there's only one on this side, because the one on this side took a dump. And while this bar in the front of it is really good and strong, the attachment point here, you can look at it on this side, is really just, it looks like it's cheap metal and kind of cheaply made. And some of the better ones will have a connection point on this end. And so the ones that I'll upgrade, I'll make sure that they have Bark Busters comes highly recommended, the Storms, so I'll probably upgrade to those. So it'll be an attachment point here at the end of the bar, and then somewhere up here. You'll also notice that I took off the mirrors. They just kept getting loose from me dropping it, and it was just kind of flopping around, so I just took them off. It doesn't bother me, I rarely use them. Let's see. Riding with bigger boots, which I'll show you here shortly, like motocross boots or any kind of adventure boots, it's a little harder to really get my foot underneath the shift lever. So I added an aftermarket shift lever, pretty easy to do. And then the foot pegs, the stock ones are rubber and get really, really slick. So these, I believe, are Moose Racing. And you'll see on there that, I mean, it's a pretty aggressive tread and being up on your feet the entire time. One of the other things I removed was the electronics around the kickstand, simply because other people that are more experienced than me have had issues where they'll hit a hard bump. The kickstand will pop down for just a moment and it'll stall the bike. So it's easier just to take the, I cut the wire from here just below the plug, just put a jumper in it, heat shrinked it so it's watertight, and tucked it back in there and works fine. The tail lights took some damage in the rear, so I'll probably upgrade these, but again, not too big of a concern for me. And trying to think, oh, and one last thing that I put on here, I put on a headlight guard. So while it does cut down on the light that it emits, the assembly itself is reasonably expensive, and I know for a fact that I took some shots to that, so I'm pretty happy that that's on there. I'll just increase the light output. And just to kind of give you an idea, obviously you can tell by the overall condition of the bike and how dirty it is. I've been riding pretty hard, but you'll see coming down one of the trails, as I laid the bike down, it slid into another big rock and put into the steel tank a pretty good gash down there, down the metal. I'll have to touch up the paint just so it doesn't rust, but that just kind of give you an idea of some of the environment we were riding in. So, future upgrades. A couple of things that I found that I think will be very, very helpful for the type of riding that I want to do. Certainly luggage and storage. So I'll get a bag back here that's watertight. I was using a C-line bag, but because of it, it abraded on the bottom, so now it is not watertight anymore. So I'll get something back here that's purpose built. And then I'll probably get the soft panniers on the side. It'll have a frame that kind of connects in here, so it'll offer a little bit of protection, but also give me a lot more storage capacity, because that's really what I wanted out of this kind of bike, was to be able to load it out and do some overland movements, some discovery trails and things like that. So, and then the next other upgrades is really navigation and some electronics up here. So there's some really, to be honest, the RAM mounts are kind of the standard. And most of the people I see around with any of the ATVs and dirt bikes, this type of bike, they all have them. But their product lines are a little bit confusing, so I just want to do some more studying and really find out what exactly I want to put on here. I'll probably be able to, I would like to mount an InReach 2 that I have, and probably a better GPS. And we'll see, that'll probably be enough up here. I also saw one of the guys, he built a custom kind of 12-volt charger that he can plug stuff into. I think that'll be a good addition to this as well. Those are all the upgrades that I have planned probably for now. Maybe a tank bag. There's some really good tank bags, and we'll definitely be able to read a map on the trails and places where we're at in combination with the GPS. Really is, I think, a helpful way to be able to ride. Those are my upgrades. Those are the things that I've done and experiences on the bike, and I look forward to putting some more miles on it.